In this video, I'm going to look at the simple process, well, theoretically simple, of making a heart graphic which can be laser cut using 2D design. Here I am in 2D design, and the first thing I'm going to do, as usual, is just right click on the grid settings here, go for my 5mm grid with lines in pale blue. I just find that so much easier to work with. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at making a heart using 3 processes. The first process is going to be by getting a graphic of a heart off the internet and basically vectorizing it to create the heart cutout. So here's a graphic I've got off the internet already of a heart. I've got a nice high-res image here, so it's 1200 by 1200 pixels in size. It's a PNG, so it's got a transparent background, and it's got a bit of a margin around the outside. So as usual, what I'm going to do with this is clean the image up, and my main focus here basically is to make sure that I've lost the margin and I've just got my heart with a blank background. I've chosen this heart because it has no background. If you choose a heart with a background, it's going to make it more difficult for you to manage. So let's just get the Magic Wand tool. Let's select the background here. I'm going to leave the tolerance at 50%. If I zoom in here on the edge of the heart, you can see there's a little bit of anti-aliasing here, and obviously if I change the tolerance levels there, it'll select different ranges of the tones of red. I'll leave it at 50%. Let's just invert the selection because of course I want to keep the heart, and come to image, and let's just crop to selection there. So that's now got rid of the margin around the outside. Okay, I'm going to save this as a BMP, sorry, because of course 2D Design likes bitmaps. It doesn't like JPEGs, and it really hates PNGs. I won't go into the details now, but make sure here that you save it as a BMP file. Okay, so there it is. Just confirm the defaults there. Okay, let's come back into 2D Design now. Let's go bitmap. I'm going to import that bitmap. I'm going to come to where I've saved it to. Okay, and let's specify a width. Okay, let's have a width here of 100mm. See how that looks. Okay, there's my heart. Okay, so let's just pop that up here. Now I'm working, of course, with gridlock turned on, and you can see here that I have got this as 100mm across. The height here is a little bit different. I'm not going to worry about that precisely right now. Let's move on. Let's convert that now into a vector. So bitmaps. Vectorize the bitmap. I'm going to click on this. Now, at this point, let's ever see full color. If I go monochrome, it's not going to work. Okay, we'll go full color. That's fine. Let's just confirm that. I'm looking at the fact there's going to be 2 shades of red here. You know, looking at this, actually, do I pull this down to fewer colors? There you go. That solves the problem. Now I've just got the red and the white. Okay, so I'm not going to have like some kind of third pale red coming in there. Let's just confirm that, and as usual, custom settings, because I want to whack up the resolution to maximum here. Let's just confirm. It's going to take a few seconds with those resolution settings, but hopefully. Okay, it's saying not responding here. If it does that, don't worry about it. It's getting there. There we are. That is now a vector. Let's just confirm that if I select it and go to start edit, you can see there's a whole bunch of lines here. Now, what's interesting here, of course, is it's also got this white background as well. Let's have a look. I'm not really completely convinced by that white background. What I'm going to do with this is try a different approach. I'm going to come back to paint.net. Let's just use the Magic Wand tool to select the background again. I'm going to have to use the add function here to add in those different areas. Right, now then, let's invert the selection. What I'm going to do with this is in black, get a brush, make it really big, and then just basically brush over that and make it all black. Okay, so let's now resave this as a BMP. I'm going to call this heart01 again. I'm going to call this a black BMP, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Fine, let's come back into 2D design, bring back in the black heart this time. We'll keep it to the same size. In fact, you know what? No, I won't. What I'll do is, as I import this, what I'll do is actually I will specify an exact size. So let's actually have this 100 by 100 and see how that looks. Okay, yeah, I'm liking that. And to prove the point here, let's get some dimension lines, and let's confirm here that this is 100 by 100. Et voila. Okay, so let's just get rid of those. Pick up that heart again. pop it down here. I've got grid lock turned on again. Let's now come to bitmap, vectorize, and now what I can do is turn on monochrome, and that's going to make my life a lot easier because now I can turn on transparent background. Let's confirm. Let's go custom settings again, maximum resolution. Wait for the 10 seconds this takes. Okay, that was much faster actually. This is going to work much better because I've got the white background is gone. Start edit, I can see that's a vector now, and all I'm going to do now is change the fill there to no fill, and I have got my heart. So that was step one, that was process one for making a heart. Now I'm going to have a look at a different technique for making a heart, and to do this I'm going to look at using a Bezier path. So this tool is available. Here we go. With my extended desktop, it's causing me a problem. This is selected by holding down on this option here. I've got a closed Bezier curve. I'm going to go with the open Bezier curve for the time being. Let's just drop this back here. And what I can see here is that there are some kind of key points where the heart kind of meets, intersects with the grid. So to do this, I think what I'm going to do is literally use this heart as a kind of profile. I'm going to click there, click there, click there. I want to click here, and now actually I'm going to right click because I can see the heart has symmetry. So all I need to do is select this Bezier curve that I've just drawn. Let's zoom in on this a bit more. And I may as well use this outline from my internet BMP heart to kind of control how this heart is shaped. Let's go to Start Edit, and now I'm going to modify these handles. Now I'm going to right click on this handle here, and that's going to mean that both handles move together. If I don't do that, if I left click, I start to get a point on the end here, which I don't want. But of course, if I forget to right click, I can still just left click because I can align this up horizontally on the grid, and that's going to give me the kind of curvature I want. Let's bring this up a little bit here. That's just a single node there, so I can just left click, not right click. Now here I'm going to right click so I keep those nodes aligned. Let's just fine tune this. Left click here. Bring that down a little bit by right clicking. How is that looking? Let's bring that up a little bit to there. Now of course if I want more control I can always go to step lock or completely turn off step and grid lock here, and now I can just kind of just tweak this in, although now I really must right click on these nodes because of course I could be taking it off the grid there to get this exactly perfect, based at least of course on my internet heart. So there we go. I'm going to end edit there. Let's go back to gridlock to make sure it's safe. Let's pull this to the side. Let's now, you can see I've got half my heart there, but the key thing is it's snapping to the grid at this bottom location and this midpoint. Let's now select it. Let's just bring my toolbar across here again so you can see what's happening. I'm going to go to the transform tool. I'm going to go to the mirror image. I want to repeat that profile of the heart, and using the gridlock I'm going to have a central mirror line, and there's my alternative heart there. Okay, so that's looking quite nice. I'm just going to highlight something here of interest, and that is the fact that of course this is one continuous profile, these are two halves. So that means with this shape here that I got from my internet image, I could come to my fill and I could now fill that in red, for example. With this shape here, even if I select both sides and I come to fill, solid, red, that won't fill because it's not actually a continuous profile. Some other interesting information coming your way here. If I shift select both and I group this together, it still won't fill because grouping does not make it into a continuous fill. It simply groups objects together for easy selection. So actually what I need to do here is I'm going to ungroup that, and I'm going to make it into a path instead. It makes it into a continuous outline, and now you can see it fills. Okay, so that's looking nice. I've got two hearts. Let's now try and do a third heart. I'm going to approach this in a different way yet again. Let's come to my circle tools. I'm going to come to a circle with a given radius. You could use just the tool here to draw a circle with gridlock turned on. I could draw that out, but I actually want to have two identical circles, and I feel as if this tool with fixing the radius gives me a lot more power. So let me think about this. I want to have a similar shaped heart, so I'm going to throw in here, let's say a 55. No, I'm going to make it 60. A 60 mil. Oh, good lord, that's massive. No, I don't want that. Let's try that one again. I'm going to go with a 30 millimeter radius. That gives me a 60 millimeter diameter heart. So I'm going to pop that there. Let's just get a dimension line. Let's just throw in here a 100 millimeter dimension lines. Okay, let's throw that up there. Let's get the other circle. Now if I pop that there, is that going to create the right kind of heart profile for me And you know what? No. For me, I feel as if this little indent here for the heart is not in the right place. So let's just take that. I won't delete it. I'm just going to slide it down there because you know what? I might come back to it. Let's come back to my tool here. I'm going to go with a 27.5 millimeter radius. And notice now I've got a problem. Look, I cannot get that snapping to the grid so it aligns with my dimension line. So no problems. I'm going to go to the right click on the grid settings here. I'm going to put in a step spacing here of 2.5, and I do this an awful lot because it gives me now that nice little kind of midpoint of my grid. So let's now have this snapping into here, and I'm going to have another one snapping into here, and now I feel as if this is creating this lovely little indent at the top here. I'm liking that a lot. I can see there's a central line down the middle here. Let me get to a dimension line tool again. Let me just see if I can get in. Yeah, that looks about right there. Get in that dimension line there. That's 100 as well. So now I'm going to come to the line tool. I'm going to hold the mouse button down. I'm going to come to this tool, which gives me drawing up from a point to a tangent. And the bottom point, of course, is going to be the midpoint here of the heart. I'm going to click here and I'm going to connect it to the tangent of this circle. I can click anywhere on this circle and it will snap to the tangent. Let's do another one over here. Let's click there and that creates the tangent as well. Okay, I'm almost there. Let's select this line. In fact, no, I'm just going to select this line. Let's go start edit. Let's select the line. I'm going to convert this to a curve, and now what I want to do is just bring in this little subtle kind of bend here, which is just going to make it feel as if this is a little bit more of an organic, or not, I don't have an organic heart, but more a kind of stylized heart. Okay, how about I bring it into about there? Now, of course, at this point, if I shift select both, start edit, I could convert that into a curve and do the same thing, but I think actually what I'm going to do here, well, I could do the mirror. No, I'll make them both the same. So let's convert that to a curve as well. So, I could, as I say, have just simply done it to one line and then mirrored it across, but I think just for a variety, I'll do this technique. So I can see those two handles are both mirrored around the central line. Okay, let's end edit there. Okay, so how am I going to convert this into a filled heart? Am I going to fill the circles? Am I going to try and combine it into one continuous path? Well, I have another technique that I use. I'm going to come to the contour tool here. I'm going to put a 0 millimeter contour spacing. I'll stick with the tool path. And I'm simply going to click around the outside there. Now I can pick up that new profile. Let's just take it to the right here. And then this becomes my new solid red filled heart. Okay, and there you go. I've got my 3 hearts. Now, out of those 3 hearts, I have to say this has got to be my favorite. And I think it's because, well, I love this whole kind of construction process here of working with simple shapes and tangents. And I also feel as if this is my heart. I haven't taken a graphic off the internet and simply, used that as a template. This is something that's got my stamp on it. There you go. I hope it was useful.